Hello and welcome to Jessie Bear Book Club. Today, I am doing a slightly different video. This video is my defense of Catelyn Stark. Don't get me wrong, Catelyn Stark is definitely one of the more boring characters in A Song of Ice and Fire, but I feel she is unjustly hated in the fandom community. First off, people always complain that Catelyn lectures Robb about stuff he has already done while on his march south. Every mother lectures their child about things they've already done. My own mother does it. People find it irritating when they read the book, just the way they would find their own mother slightly irritating. I don't understand why people hate on her for it. Order of the Green Hand are always hating on Catelyn. I actually stopped watching their lives because it always turned into a session where they just hated on Catelyn's character, which I disagreed with. I still enjoy their theory videos, but I don't watch their lives anymore because it just turned into a Catelyn hate fest. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but they hark on the point a little bit too strongly for my liking. Catelyn letting Jaime Lannister go was dumb, but it was an act of complete desperation, motherly desperation, to try and get her children back. It was done out of love, even though it was stupid. Catelyn isn't the best mother in the world, but she's also not the worst. Catelyn was prepared to fight the cat's paw to the death, if possible, to save Bran's life, and that is not something to be ignored. Catelyn obviously has favourite children. And even though it is not a nice thing, it is something that can be quite normal within families. Her favourite child is obviously Bran, the first male child born when she was finally settled at Winterfell. And when you put it like that, it has a different spin on it to why her connection with Bran is stronger. Catelyn also gets a lot of hate for preferring Sansa to Arya, but I think that is just because Sansa is easier to deal with because she is a conventional female for that world, unlike Arya. And when you have a lot of children, you're allowed to be grateful for the child that's easy. People also like to talk about how Catelyn got a bad deal when bargaining with Walder Frey. But Walder Frey is a tight-fisted old bastard who was going to get everything he possibly could out of the Northern Crossing. And don't get me wrong, Robb needed that crossing to be peaceful because they could have closed the gates of the twins, there could have been a siege, and yes, Robb had more men and would have eventually won out, but he would have been delayed and would have lost a lot of men compared to the Freys. All they had to do was close their gates and shoot arrows at them for days, and how many foot are you going to lose? How many cavalry are you going to lose? And how much time are you going to lose before you meet the Lannisters? Every day you spend at the Twins, the Lannisters have more days to march north, they have more days to prepare, while you're stuck at the Twins. Just give Walder Frey what he wants and be on your way. Robb didn't have to take his mother's deal, but knew it was his only choice. The longer he stayed there bargaining, the weaker his position became. The one thing Catelyn should never have done was kidnap Tyrion Lannister. That was a very silly, spontaneous thing to do that she obviously didn't think through. But the Tullys tend to be spontaneous. Look at Lysa and look at Edmund. I think it's got something to do with their Went blood. And as far as Catelyn was concerned at that point, Tyrion Lannister had ordered the killing of her son Bran. He didn't, of course, but hindsight is always 20/20, and as a reader, we know far more than Catelyn does, so we shouldn't judge her too harshly. Catelyn trusting Littlefinger was naive, but no more naive than Sansa trusting Cersei. They don't know the full picture, and they have never had to deal with courtly double dealing. Catelyn has always had men to protect her and do things for her. She's been a caged bird her entire life. she doesn't know that there are cats outside that cage. Catelyn gets more erratic as the layers of protection from the men in her life fall away. It doesn't make Catelyn's behaviour any better, but it does make her more human. And isn't that what George R.R. Martin is striving for? Humanity in his characters? I don't blame Catelyn for killing Jingle Bell after the Frey's match secured everybody at the Red Wedding. It was futile, yes, but she felt pain and felt the need to kill someone in the Frey family, to hurt them back, even if it was in a minuscule way. I'm not going to get into any Lady Stoneheart theories here, but I might do a video on that subject at some point. Before I end this video, I want to take a moment to compare Catelyn Stark to other women in A Song of Ice and Fire. Compared to Lysa, Catelyn is normal, and compared to Cersei Lannister, Catelyn is anything but cruel. People like to talk about how Catelyn treated Jon Snow, but she let him live in Winterfell. Though she never used his name, she gave him bed and board. On the other hand, Cersei had Robert Baratheon's bastards murdered while they were infants. Isn't that a lot worse? And Daenerys Targaryen has sacked cities and had slavers crucified just for being slavers. It doesn't make these women any less human, but for some reason, Catelyn gets a lot of hate. I think it's just because Jon is a fan favourite. People also like to say that Catelyn is uncaring because she didn't know about Lisa's miscarriage/abortion that Hoster Tully made her have, but Hoster probably swore Lysa to secrecy on pain of death, and Lysa would rightly assume that Catelyn would be disapproving of her illicit pregnancy to Littlefinger. Catelyn is dutiful and bound by social norms and society. If she knew her little sister had got pregnant out of wedlock, she would surely shun her, due to being worried for her own reputation. Catelyn Stark is no monster. That is Lady Stoneheart's job. But she is very human, and humans have flaws, even fan favourites like Jon and Arya. Catelyn doesn't suck. Her main character letdowns are the fact that she doesn't like Jon, and she's dull. But that doesn't make her a monster, or make her suck. I don't get why everyone hates her. She does move the plot along. That's something you can say about her. And you might be worried too if you thought your husband had had an affair with a beautiful woman called a Sharadane, and that lady could be the bastard under your roof's son. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, I have a full playlist of other A Song of Ice and Fire content for you to check out. Make sure and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram at Lady Jessica Riddell. Until next time, winter is coming. Bye!